So Franco, I want to say thank you because, true freedom really is being at peace. And I know that, for myself, and I'm sure a lot of other people can identify with this. Now, at the beginning of September, when my kids went back to school, I was in overwhelm because it was back to school and there's 3 homeworks to help with, and there's the house to maintain, there's groceries and food, there's 2 businesses that I run, Masterpiece Life and my own healing practice. There's the household, there's family, and it just kept growing. And I was in overwhelm. There was a lot to do. And then, I remember going back to, okay, let's just do the one thing at a time. What I can do right now is this, is help my daughter with her homework. What I can do right now is make this meal. And coming back to that, just doing the best that I can at that moment, I felt the layers of the tension just falling off, and being at peace. For me, the work is still there. My children are still there, the household is still there, the businesses are still there, but I was at a peace. So my question for you is, can you further expand for people how to take what you're talking about, how to come to being free with what is, really what it is, how they can have that be part of their every daily life? What would you recommend they start doing?
Well, you've given a great example to start off with right away in regards to getting to the state of peace. See, anything you're seeing in overwhelm, or anyone that's seeing things in overwhelm, or seeing that their life is pretty full of activities and so forth that they need to do, when you're in that state of seeing all these things, yeah, you're going to feel overwhelmed, because now what you're doing is you're creating the mind to start attaching the stories and creating new stories for each thing. And of course, even if you have to answer 4 emails, it becomes a major project, because I got emails, I got to help my daughter, I have to do this, and I have to do that, and I have to clean the house, and there's somebody's coming here, and I have to be there, and so forth, and I expect to finish my tax entries and my computer and all this. And you start looking at that. Now, no matter what you're doing, you're creating, because we are creators here, and whatever you're doing, you're emanating energies anyways. So your energy is scattered so much that each step that you're taking, each thing that you're doing, you're now creating a resistance and barriers within, because your mind is scattered all over the place and you're not in that focal point. So if you decided to help your daughter and you sat down and you just let everything else go, like you were saying, now you're in the moment. And you're focusing without that major lingering, I have to do this, I have to do that, and I can't be here too long, or whatever it is, or I have a deadline or anything of that nature. It's just, okay, I'm going to be here. I'm going to play with my daughter. By doing that, and then moving on to the next thing, and just letting that one go, and then you step into the other aspect of it, and you just do that. What you'll find is you're emanating an energy which is saying to the universe, which is you anyways, I don't need to fight. So it harmonizes everything in a flow. So no matter what you're going to do, everything starts to flow. And not only is it flowing, you now have a sense of peace in everything. And everything is like walking through that park, and I'm looking at this flower, I'm looking at that tree, just the same thing. The other thing you'll notice, as you're going along with that, by observing that aspect of it, you'll also start seeing, well, how much pressure am I actually putting on myself? Is there really all this tightness and deadlines is there? Or am I also creating those because it's my pattern that I've been playing out with? So a lot of times we start to notice that, hey, wait a minute, I don't need to do it all this way, in this form, or whatever it is. And just allow. Yes, and you're right about it. If you're in there and you start getting overwhelmed with all the things, then you feel this heaviness in your body and even in your own physicality. And it's like sometimes people have problems even breathing. They start feeling the congestion, and that's just really just you're feeling all this stuff and you're internalizing it. You're putting all this weight on top of you. So it's saying, I have all this stuff and I got to throw it on myself right now, and I have all this beautiful, this powerful weight on me. Instead of saying, it's all there, I'm not attached to any of it, but I'm going to take this and I'm going to play with this now. It's like a child, you walk in there and you throw all the toys on yourself and then expect to play with all these toys. And you can smother yourself in it, or you can say, well, here's all my toys, there's a whole playground, and I'm going to take this toy and I'm going to play with this for a little while, and I'm done with this, I put that and I take the next toy. Did you ever go to Wonderland? Do you want to get on every single ride at once? No, you're going to go on one ride, and that's it. You're going to enjoy that ride. Get off the next ride and say, okay, I'm going to go try this one, or I'm going to do that. That's the way life is. That's the first step of it. That already frees you up a big part of the pressure and the experience that you're feeling overwhelmed about. The next part of it is to start looking at it. Okay, am I doing this because this is what I feel I want to do? Not because I need to do it, or because I've created a story of it. It's okay, do I want to do this? Does this feel like something I want to do? If the mind starts getting engaged, yeah, you gotta do, you gotta do, you gotta do, then that's a different story. Because that's the story we created. If I don't do this, because especially when the clearing, we're doing clearing, people say, well, this is my life, I have to do this, this, and this, and this. A lot of times when we actually go into it and start looking at what we need to do, there's a story. Because somehow we linked in, if I don't seem productive all the time, that I am not good enough, or I'm not worthy, or this and that. So that changes. All of a sudden, I'm doing this, but I don't understand why. It's just me. No, it's not. It's something you took on and you wanted to dance with it, but you're able to free yourself from it at each moment. So it's just looking at it and say, well, yeah, no, I don't need to do all this. I don't need to go everywhere here. I don't need to do that. And you start to make new choices. And then because I don't have to make work projects along the way, your world starts to expand. And now, all of a sudden, it's not to-dos. It's like, wow, look, I can go play here, I can play this, I can do this, and I can do that. Rather than, I have to do this, and I have to do this, and if I don't do this, I'm going to get in trouble here, and this, and this, and this, and that. At that point, you're not only feeling freer, but you create an environment that actually flows with you. And yes, you can choose whatever you want to dance with. So it's like, do I go like a kid and look at everything as, wow, I can play with this, I can play with this? Or do you go in as, oh my God, I got to take care of this, I got to take care of that, and I have to do this and that? You have choices on how you see it. So you start looking at what drives us, and to feel that freedom and saying, wait a minute. I've created all of this. These are just stories we created. The structures are the structures. I'm free with this. I can play with whatever I want to, and whatever I choose to do. So it's going in to start observing what's running me. What are the stories going on here? It's to step outside of that, to achieve that freedom. And then this is the thing with even the work that I do with the clearing, is going in to clear all the definitions, all the power we've given to all these things, and all that we've created. And nothing is wrong with any of it, but we're choosing now, as beautiful souls, to be that creator essence, to play and to create a whole different reality, and a whole different world. And we can only do that by stepping back and letting all that go. And yes, maybe we need to go into more details on how we can do that. But we can play with that with our next segment.
Another time. So everybody, I want to thank, this is Antonia Hagens from MasterpieceLife.com and Franco DeNicola. You can find out more information about him on the MasterpieceLife.com website. Just look under speakers, Franco DeNicola. And I thank you for being here, and I welcome you back soon to another conversation. Namaste.